All right, so we're picking up the second half of the game. So this is the top of turn 5, the Germans' turn. So basically what happened, advanced with this platoon, shot and killed one stand, and then they stormtroopered. These guys shot into the guns, he passed his saves. The armor has advanced, and then in its stormtrooper move, one of the tanks bogged, trying to get over the trench line. This platoon down the middle is still pinned, so they can't fall back to get near that objective, but as you can see, this platoon here did, so they just strung themselves out to contest on this turn. So now we're going to the bottom of turn 5. These allies have got their 2 mortar tubes left here. They've got 3 stands left here. I believe there's 6 stands of engineers over there holding that objective. His 6-pounders lost their command stand on the previous turn, so they're basically stuck there now, not able to do anything. And what I see is still hiding out way over in the back corner. And that's about it. So we'll pick it up at the end of the turn. Yeah, so...
He can still shoot, though.
Okay, British turn. We're just wrapping up here. Thought we were done. He missed. So that was a shooting there.
He looks like he's in range.
They have pistols, though.
4 inches.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You moved
yeah,
up, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. So the mortars fired from here. They could just see the guy in the building. He hit those 4 stands, but with re-rolling, I made my saves. He had to re-roll to hit, and then I made the saves. His shooting over here, his engineers came out of the church, or whatever that is, manor, up to the edge line, and they fired into the road and killed my 2 teams that were there. So I had to test with that remaining 3 stands of that platoon, passed their morale test at the end of the phase, but he's pushed me off the objective, so I'm going to have to advance. So this unit's pinned from the mortars, and that's the only teams I lost were those 2, but it was successful. So now it's the top of my turn 6. I'm basically going to have to keep throwing guys towards that objective. Try and unbog these guys. We'll pick it up at the end of my turn, and we'll see how it pans out. So, top of turn 6, German turn. This guy did unbog, and then when he went to drive, bogged again. The other tanks are advancing there and there. Bunch of shooting from my guys here, both that tank and the infantry, into this platoon. Didn't even score hits. All my shooting here, into the gun teams in here, didn't score any hits. Failed to unpin the platoon along the middle once again. I had to move these guys up to contest again, so that he doesn't capture at the top of turn 6. They failed to stormtrooper, and they failed to hit anything. They failed to stormtrooper. The tanks were the only thing that successfully stormtroopered. Very short turn for me. So over to bottom of turn 6 for the Allies. Okay, so the end of the Germans' turn. What happened? Tried to advance with the armor. Bogged again. So these guys had to stay in command because he did unbog, so they didn't get far. Bunch of shooting here did, again, no hits with all this shooting. This platoon, you can see pinned. That's all that's left of that platoon that was strung out. They advanced, shot, and assaulted. And in the back and forth, I did kill 2 of his stands. He wiped 4 of my stands out. My rolls were really bad. They weren't part of the assaulting team, so they kind of got left behind. But he wiped out 4 of my assaulting teams. But I got him below half. He's down to 4 stands left of 9. Failed to stormtrooper here. Failed to stormtrooper here. Rolling a lot of failures. That's my 2IC. He was up here. He stormtroopered in just to contest to go to the next turn. Because these guys are fearless. So he had to roll just a motivation for his engineer platoon to hang around. And he rolled a 1 on his fearless guys. So basically me moving, Brett had just said there, me moving my 2IC up to contest and him failing that motivation is basically what cost it the game.
That's the end, yeah.
That's the end. Because he has nothing else in this area that can move. So they basically fall back, and that's that.
They're off the board, yeah.
So it's an interesting scenario. The Germans, in all honesty, didn't do too well. It was the scenario that actually hooped the Allies more than the skill of the confident, trained defensive infantry line that was here. Wow, it's tough playing Germans when they're trained. It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference. They die a lot faster. So...
Only
because he rolled a 1. I didn't win. Brett lost.
He's just complaining because he's playing trained Germans.
I didn't win. Brett lost.
Yeah, I didn't win. Brett lost.
He's like, I've only played veterans my whole life.
D-Day's hard.
At least I play.
D-Day's hard.
No, I it didn't feel like Flames War. I mean, it was a totally different scenario.
Yeah, it was. Like,
fun.
the scenario was interesting.
Very fun, yeah.
My defensive line did nothing. The 88s never did much. The HMGs didn't do much.
They killed a couple teams there and forced that platoon to fall back. Like, obviously it's Flames War and it feels like Flames War, but it doesn't feel like the regular scenario.
Well, yeah, and a lot of my stuff,
Your guys are dropping in randomly, and then it's just pure chaos. I mean, it actually simulates what I've seen in like Band of Brothers and in what I've read in books about the chaos. Like, there's just dudes like
stuff everywhere.
Like, and the rules kind of control how you move the dudes, and you almost like it's almost like you don't have control of your own models because of the scenario. It's fun.
Yeah, it was definitely. I'd be game for playing it again because it could be totally different just depending on where stuff drops in.
Well, I think I would probably change my tactics with the drop points.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of like, well, I don't want to go off the board, so I'm okay if I'm near you. I think next time I'd be like, I'd rather be further away.
So you can move to get to your canisters and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
And my list, too, was more of an all-comer list. I brought 88s and Pack 40s and Stoogs, and I'm defending as infantry. All that points was wasted, but I didn't want to try and make a list that was designed to fight the airborne drop.
Wow,
so,
I mean, it gives you some mobility, too, right? And 88s rate of fire 3 is nothing to sneeze at. So.
Yeah, it was interesting, though. It was a good game. So, like I was saying, the Germans didn't really pull out a victory here. I think he lost. He still, at the end of it, I think lost more troops to terrain and the scenario than he did to actual enemy fire.
Yeah, probably.
So,
yeah, I mean, a fair amount of shooting killed dudes there. You ended up killing two or three of the engineers, but terrain killed.
Well, this is down to 3 stands. So, no, they passed, right? Their motivation. So
I don't know that I even rolled for them.
Those guys, but not that it matters. But
no,
they rolled a 1 too. Wow. So the fearless doesn't help too much there. But.
Oh, it's never helped me. My casino 2-ups fearless.
Yeah.
I rolled so many 1s with them. It's ridiculous.
So that's game.